Heard you said you feel lonely. Nothing is right with that. Picking up pieces of something that doesn't matter. You kept fighting, kept smiling. Prepare for war. What I'm missing is your kissing.
Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another video. Hello, happy new year. Happy 2022. Oh my god, I know, where the heck have I been? It's been a while. Yeah. Oh my god, I've missed you guys so much. Happy New Year. I hope you're having an amazing start to the new year. I hope this year goes way better for you and I, better than it did in 2021, okay? Like, this year, 2022, is gonna be an even greater year. I am definitely channeling that positive energy for myself and for you as well. So in today's video, I decided to talk about what it's like living in San Diego versus living in Los Angeles. If any of you know me or know my backstory, you will know that I moved to San Diego from Los Angeles 3 years ago. Oh my god. I can't believe it's been 3 years. Like, 3 whole years. It's been quite the ride. It's been quite the experience. But I will let you know that for the most part, I've definitely enjoyed it. So anyway, I was like, there are so many differences between what it's like living in LA, being a resident of LA, to being a resident of San Diego. So I was like, you know what, let me let people know what that's about, especially if there's anyone out there who's thinking of moving, right? If you're thinking of moving to San Diego, you need to watch this video. Like, you need to watch this video. You need to know, like, you know, the 411, what's really going on out here. I made a list about the things that stuck out to me when it comes to the difference between living in LA versus living in San Diego. I have a little thing here with just a list that I feel like, okay, like I could actually make a comparison to. So here we go. When it comes to living in San Diego, one of the first things I noticed is there is less congestion. So less congestion, meaning it is less crowded than Los Angeles. A lot of people might be like, okay, yeah, well, we probably knew that. I didn't really know it was gonna be like that. When I got here, I was like, oh wow, like, there are definitely not as much people living in San Diego, as much people as in LA. I feel like when you're in Los Angeles, when you're driving, when you're walking, anywhere you go, you're going to deal with crowds. You're going to deal with so many people all at once. There are lots of people, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't feel crowded. It doesn't feel congested and like overpacked with people like it feels in LA. Number 2, let me look at my list real quick. All right, outdoors. So San Diego is like such an outdoorsy place. That's one of the things I love about it. When I lived in LA, yeah, LA has, you know, the ocean, the beaches, parks, events, you know, places you can go to, right? Places you can explore. But for some reason, something about San Diego is just so different when it comes to these places. When I moved here, you know, one of the first things I got into was biking. In LA, I was not biking anywhere. I did not care. I did not care about biking. I was just like doing whatever I was doing. I feel like my life revolved more around food, friends, nightlife, work, socializing after work with coworkers, like things like that. But going biking, hiking, those were not really major interests of mine. But guess what? Once I moved to San Diego, oh my God, it's like it just pulls you in to want to get outside. Like I always felt the need to get outside, to go to the beach, to go biking. Yeah. So basically, the last time I biked was when I was a kid. And then when I moved to San Diego, guess what? I went and picked up a bike. I went to this biking shop, and basically I told the guy, I was like, hey, I see that you rent out bikes. I do want to rent a bike, but I haven't biked in so many years, like since I was a child, but I love biking, right? Thankfully, that shop owner was nice enough to be like, okay, you know what? Let's go out into this parking lot real quick. Let's take this bike. Let me show you how to get back on that bicycle, how to get your groove back. It was so great. And ever since then, I've just been in love with biking. Another outdoor activity I got into from moving to San Diego is beach volleyball. Look, if you go anywhere here in San Diego, especially at the beach, you're going to see a bunch of people playing beach volleyball for fun. There are so many beach volleyball like nets and areas. And I was just like, man, I want to be one of those people. I want to be one of those people out there running in the sand, like doing the little, like able to like hit the ball over the net, score, slam it down. I was just like, I want to be one of those people. So I was like, man, I'm about to go find a way to get this beach volleyball in my life. I was able to do that. And it was addicting. It was just like, wow, like this is so much fun. I would go after work. I would go on weekends, so that is one thing I never did in Los Angeles. So be prepared, if you're moving to San Diego, be prepared that you're going to be inspired to want to get outside. You're not going to be a homebody. That's the second thing that I would say. San Diego is a very outdoorsy place. Men, women, children just running around in the outdoors, having fun, enjoying life. Switching from outdoorsy, I want to talk about how awesome the San Diego beaches are, okay? So one thing that San Diego is really, really great at is having awesome beaches, awesome views, awesome spots to just go chill and check out the ocean and check out, the animals, the seals, the seagulls, the birds, the ocean waves, the sunsets. I mean, the palm trees. Oh my God, the sand. There are so many wonderful, wonderful locations in San Diego to check out the ocean. It's like, it's one of the most mesmerizing places I've ever been when it comes to the ocean views, okay? LA, of course, is also on the Pacific coast, but it just doesn't give you the same vibes. One of the first places I went to was Sunset Cliffs. If you've been following my channel, you will know that I go to Sunset Cliffs a lot. There are some videos that I've shot at Sunset Cliffs. I love Sunset Cliffs so much. You can get one of the best views of the sunsets, of the ocean, like a very magnificent view of the ocean from Sunset Cliffs. And then just different beaches. I mean, there's Ocean Beach, there's Dog Beach, there's La Jolla, there's, where else is there? Imperial Beach, there's Pacific Beach, there's Wind and Sea Beach. Dude, so many freaking beaches. I haven't even covered probably half of the beaches that are on this side, okay? And it's not just that, oh, they have beaches. the beaches are just so remarkable. So they feel cleaner, the water looks way nicer, the surroundings smell good, it's not congested with tourists. And, if you want to go to the beach and you're like, oh wow, like it's the summer, more than likely you're going to find a lot of tourists at most of the beaches. But guess what? There are secret spots that you could find in San Diego where it feels like you're on your own private island. Like it feels like you're in your own private beach and you could just like relax and enjoy. You don't have to go and deal with the crowds. You really don't. And I think that's the best part about being a local of San Diego, discovering these secret spots, secret beaches, like where you could go hang out, sunbathe, even places like right under the cliff. Like there are like mini beaches there that people have found pathways to walk down and just hang out. And it's just so cool. And that is something that is hard to get in LA because I don't know, they just don't take care of it as well. I just feel like LA is just a little bit dingy. Like the beaches are just a little bit dirtier, more crowded. Oh, and when it comes to parking, oh my God, I guess I might as well just segue from this into parking. Moving on to the next thing, parking. So when it comes to parking, I brought that up right after the beach because compared to LA, so when you're in LA and you want to go enjoy the beach, you have to pay for parking. You have to pay for parking, and guess what? They actually have meter maids and like parking maids and cops like going around making sure like you're not violating any parking rules. They have a lot of rules. They have a lot of meters that you have to feed just to enjoy the ocean. But guess what? Not in San Diego. Not in San Diego. So for the most part, a lot of areas in San Diego do not require paid parking. Can you imagine that? Like, you just want to enjoy life. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. You don't have to be forced to pay for something as simple as just being able to just park your car and go watch the sunset or go to a nice restaurant overlooking the ocean. Like, there are so many super cool spots in San Diego where you would think, oh my God, they must have like a meter. They must have like really, strong parking rules and somebody's really enforcing them and everything. Nope. Like, it's not like that at all. Like, you can find really nice places to eat by the ocean or just like wanting to go to the beach without having to feed a dang meter. And I really appreciate that about San Diego. I'm like, dang, like, it's the simple things, it's the simple things like that that help you really enjoy the experience of being out here. Now, granted, there are places that have meters, of course, like, the city has to make money. But I'm saying, like, when you want to just enjoy a lot of the simple things, nature, being outdoors, oh, you want to go surfing? Yeah, you could go. You don't even have to pay for parking at, like, Ocean Beach, for instance, or Mission Beach. Like, there are just so many places where you don't have to deal with that. But then there are places like downtown San Diego where, for instance, if you're trying to enjoy the nightlife, best of luck. It's a little bit tricky to find parking when you're trying to enjoy the nightlife in San Diego, in downtown, like Gaslamp District and things like that. It's harder to find parking for the nightlife, right? And then there's certain places, like I know there's a place that has a marina closer to downtown where there's also a meter. But guess what? There's always parking. And guess what? There's no one who's breathing down your neck to make sure that you put a dang quarter in the meter thing. No one's really on your case. So even if you just went there and you're like, you know what, I just want to have a quick lunch with a nice view and you don't really want to pay for it, I'm not saying don't pay, but I'm just trying to say, like, no one's there, like, chasing after you, chasing you down, for parking. And there's a lot of space to park. So, I love that about San Diego. I really, really appreciate that. And I think I appreciate it more coming from Los Angeles. If I tell you all the ridiculous parking, driving situations, I mean, this happened to me. I parked, I think it was at Redondo Beach. I was going to grab dinner with a friend, and I think I was 1 minute late back to my meter. Guess what? There was a meter maid guy writing me the F up and leaving me a ticket that I had to pay to the city. And I think it was like, I don't know, maybe 40 or 60 bucks. And I was just like, damn, how rude. Like, it was just 1 minute. It literally was. And a lot of that happens in Los Angeles. But in San Diego, nope, never had that experience at all. Like, thank God, Thank God. Like, I've never had to worry about parking or meter maids or the cops, because of parking, I never had to worry about that. So that's one thing I appreciate about San Diego. All right, let me get into the next thing. Another thing about San Diego that I didn't really know of until I moved here is the military presence. So San Diego is a military town. But you know what? Before I moved here, I remember Googling things and hearing, oh yeah, they have the Navy base, they have this, they have that. I was like, oh dang, like, am I going to be, seeing military people everywhere? Like, uniformed military people just around, like, almost like I live on a military base. So I think that was one of my concerns. I was like, man, I'm going to move here and they're going to be like, everyone around is going to be in uniform and I'm just going to be this like civilian in the middle of a military base type thing. But not the case. Not the case at all. So yes, San Diego is a military town, right? They have different military branches here. But I believe they're mostly known for having the Navy here, but they have everybody here, right? But yeah, the thing is, I thought it would be one way, but moving here, you don't see, like, I don't know, I feel like it's just normal to kind of see trickles of people every now and then in their military gear. So it's not what do you call it? It's not like a religious occurrence where you're always seeing military people. Yes, the military people are around, but most of them are usually dressed like civilians. Like, you can't necessarily tell that they are in the military. But yeah, you're gonna have like neighbors who are military, people at your church who are military. When you go out to different places, you're going to run into military people. Like, it's super common, right? But, what I'm saying is, even though it's common, it's not like you're going to see people dressed in military gear everywhere you go. So that's not the case. Once in a while, yeah, you might see like someone at the grocery store, in their military gear. But for the most part, everybody just looks pretty much the same. Like, you can't really tell unless someone told you or unless they're wearing their military gear, which doesn't happen as frequently as you might think, given that San Diego is a military town. So that's what I'm saying about that. All right. So now let me segue that into dating in San Diego. Let's move over from that into that to me is a really good segue, because when I moved to San Diego, knowing, having an idea that it was a military town and stuff, I just thought, hey, it's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with it being a military town. I'm sure it's an even distribution, right, of military and civilians and stuff like that. So anyway, dating in San Diego, let me say, is better than dating in LA. Yep, I said it. I said it. It's better than dating in LA because, in my experience, it's just people just seem more serious about dating here. It doesn't seem like they're playing around. I don't know how to explain it. Like, they're more inclined to actually take the steps to dating that they said they're gonna take. And they just have a more serious background. There are people in LA who are just kind of like not as serious about dating. And then when you hear about their background, they don't have like the stability to date, like maybe they don't have a stable location that they live in. Maybe they don't have a stable job that they're doing. Maybe they're still trying to figure out their career. Even someone who's like pretty old, and you're like, damn, like, you're way older than me and you're still trying to figure out stuff. And I'm not saying like you can't figure out stuff when you're older, but I'm just saying like there's less of, that inclination. They have the ability to figure it out, but they're like, like they're just super chill. They're just super chill. They're just super chill about life and about dating and not wanting to, be pinned down, like imagine a 40-year-old man telling you that, oh, like, he's not ready to settle down. Like, that's what you're going to run into in LA. Like, it's just unfortunately the case. But, in San Diego, I feel like people actually enjoy dating. They want to meet up with you and get to know you. Granted, look, I'm not saying like they have great agendas or that they really know exactly what they're doing when they're trying to get to know you, but they have the starting foundation, like they have a decent job, their head seems to be in the right place, like they have a decent head on their shoulders. It may not go anywhere, but they will take you to a nice restaurant. They will have a nice conversation with you. They will ask you questions to actually get to know you and your background. I'm just saying that dating in San Diego seems more serious and seems like there's more potential to develop into something versus dating in LA. That's where I'm going to end that. All right. What's the next thing on my list? Let me talk about food in San Diego. When I initially moved here, I was very interested and curious, to explore different foods. I love brunch foods, breakfast foods. I do enjoy tacos, fish tacos especially. So there were things that I already had in my mind that I was like, okay, I gotta find a spot for this, a spot for that, So the thing about San Diego is that it seems like they do have a lot of restaurants, they do have a lot of foods, but nothing has ever stuck with me. That's the problem. That's the problem with San Diego when it comes to food. Nothing has ever stuck with me. In LA, oh my God, I could just tell you so many places you need to go check out. I could be like, okay, for brunch, you need to go here. You want tacos? You need to check this out. You need a food truck with tacos? You need to go here. You need fish tacos? As you see, tacos. Yeah, like, oh, you need to go, get like experience Argentinian empanadas. I got you. You need the best Thai food. I got you. Right. But in San Diego, it is difficult. It is difficult to nail down favorite food locations. I will tell you that much. So that's the difference when it comes to food between San Diego and LA. I feel like in LA, you can find all sorts of food, all sorts of delicious food, and they stick. Like, you don't forget them. You literally don't forget them. Like, you're gonna go back, you're gonna recommend it to your friends and family. But over here, it's so forgettable over here. Over here in San Diego, I haven't found places that I could just be like, wow, like I need to go back. Like I'm so in love with this place. Hands down the best this, hands down the best that I've ever tasted. It's incredible. No, like I honestly can't say that. The greatest I've had has definitely been in LA. So LA takes the cake on that one. Now let me segue from that into Nigerian food. I gotta say Nigerian food because I'm Nigerian. And Nigerian food is something that I really loved having when I was in LA. San Diego is only a couple of hours from LA, right? So there has to be Nigerian food out here. Yeah, try and Google it. um, there isn't. There isn't a proper Nigerian restaurant in San Diego. Can you believe that? What in the world? That shocked the heck out of me. There's a lot of East African food. So, there's a lot of like, Kenyan, Burundi, Ethiopian, Eritrean food. But Nigerian food? Best of luck trying to find Nigerian food in San Diego. So whenever I'm in the mood for Nigerian food, guess where I go? I make the trip. I get out there to LA and I purchase my favorite dish. So I guess if you're watching this and you've always wanted to start a Nigerian restaurant, please bring it down to San Diego. Maybe I need to start a Nigerian restaurant in San Diego. I don't know, but in LA, definitely way more variety of Nigerian restaurants compared to whatever we have here in San Diego. So that's my bit about Nigerian restaurants in San Diego. Okay, moving on to the next thing. The diversity in San Diego is not great, okay? Like if you're coming here and you're like, oh yeah, I want to be around Black people, you will find Black people, but it's gonna be, you're gonna have to go inland, to certain cities, right? But if you lived in certain areas like the beach towns and stuff like that, it's not as many, right? I think it just depends on the demographic that you're interested in. When I moved, I wasn't moving because of demographic. I came from LA. I'm also someone who's very, I can easily interact with anyone regardless, right? Like, so it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't have to have a certain race, in my neighborhood before I live there. It's more about like peace, safety, my job, things like that. But it's always nice to know like where those neighborhoods are at. So, I'll definitely say like the diversity level in San Diego compared to LA is pretty low. But LA is a melting pot. It's like if you want to find Argentinians, if you want to find Jamaicans, if you want to find Nigerians, if you want to find Indians, if you want to find Middle Easterns, it's like a huge melting pot of people, and I love that. Like literally every corner you could find a restaurant that belongs to another foreign culture, and I love that. But I don't really get that here in San Diego. So that's one difference. Let me see. I think there's one more thing that I need to talk about. Afrobeats. All right. Before I get into Afrobeat, the nightlife. So when it comes to the nightlife in San Diego, their downtown is definitely not as big and as old as, downtown LA. Downtown LA, has been around way longer than downtown San Diego and has way more stuff, right? It's just different. But downtown San Diego has things, if you're like, what, you want to explore and experience a 40s clubbing experience, you could get that. If you want to make your rounds around different clubs in that area, you could get that. If you want to ride a mechanical bull, you could get that. If you want to have like an old school game night, you could get that as well. So there are different experiences if you want to go to like really nice restaurants, you know, to enjoy the nightlife, a lounge. They have that as well, but they don't have as many of it as, you know, they would in LA, right? But anyway, now switching over to Afrobeat. So when it comes to Afrobeat, I love Afrobeat. Burna Boy, Wizkid, a couple of my faves already. But here in San Diego, they don't necessarily have like a lot of Afrobeat options. Like there was one time I think Burna Boy was supposed to be out here doing a concert and then he canceled. And I had got a ticket, you know, and I was like, they probably canceled because they didn't have as many people that were gonna attend compared to like if he performed in LA, you know? So the Afrobeat scene in San Diego is still trying to grow. Granted, I have seen certain like flyers or events out there that they've put out where they're like, oh, they're gonna have like Afrobeat in the segment. There's going to be an Afrobeat DJ. So they're trying, you know, there have been a couple of events that I've been to, a couple of day parties, and I was like, ooh, like, I think that there is an opportunity here for certain things, and I just hope that it continues to grow. Thank you so much for staying through the video. Yeah, those are all the things that I could think of for now that are the differences that I've experienced from, you know, living in LA versus living in San Diego, and things that, you know, you might want to know if you're thinking of living in LA or if you're thinking of moving to San Diego. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about San Diego, or if there's something you want me to expand on, let me know in the comments. Like, I'll be down there in the comments with you. We'll talk this out. But anyway, I'm so glad I got to share this with you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, but I will catch you in my next video. Until next time, bye.